Welcome back to Decoding Wisdom, guys. Today's guest is Ernesto Gaita. He is a very successful entrepreneur, has multiple businesses, Neighborhood Creative, which is a marketing agency, Money Buys Happiness, which is a very successful podcast. They recently had Gary Vee and Patrick Bet-David on their podcast as well, and also multiple businesses. He used to be a promoter. He used to be an ex-soccer player. He also played NCAA Division I in North Carolina. And today we have him on the show. We discuss everything from self-awareness to modern day masculinity issues and so much more. I really, really believe you guys will get so much value out of this episode. I hope you enjoy it. Ernesto Gaita.
What's up, man?
Am I pronounced that correctly?
Gaita, yeah, you did pretty good.
All right, welcome to Decoding Wisdom, man.
Thank you for having me, man. I'm excited to be here.
I appreciate it. You've lived multiple lives, right? It's one of the things you talk about. As a soccer player or football player, entrepreneur, promoter, podcast host, and now you have, I think, multiple businesses.
Yep.
That's exactly what I want to get into today.
Okay.
And one of the things you said in one of your podcasts earlier was, you have to be crazy to succeed. Mm. What kind of crazy do you mean?
Well, I feel like, crazy is a big word, right? But, delusional. I think you need to have delusion. You need to be so sure in yourself that nothing around you matters or could affect your goals. Mm. And that is pretty delusional. That is pretty crazy to think about what you want to do and not let anyone around you or anything around you affect that, right? I say crazy because it's just not the norm. Mm. The norm is people having a dream and then letting everyone around them affect it. That's the norm, which I think that's crazy. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So crazy comes from, you're going to be unique. You're going to be looked at differently. And you're going to have a lot of battles within yourself. Mm-hmm. So it is pretty crazy. But again, I go back to even delusion. I think you have to be delusional to a certain extent to really believe in what you want to achieve, because a lot of the times you're going after something that has probably never been done the way that you're going to do it. Mm-hmm. Right? So delusion, crazy, I think you need to be both.
Mm-hmm. It's interesting because who have your mentors been? So Gary Vee has been one, huge. Someone you've looked up to huge.
Yeah.
Where did he come into your life?
He came into my life around, I would say 2015, 2016, where I started to appreciate the world of marketing a bit more. I was very intrigued by social media and content creation. I was still promoting, but I really appreciated the way he conveyed his messages.
Yeah.
I'm one of those guys that if you are high energy and you're yelling, and I can understand you.
Yeah.
And I can appreciate it. A lot of people watch Gary Vee and they're like, oh, like he's just yelling the same stuff every time or every day. But, I found an appreciation for him with the way he delivered his message and the things that he was talking about. And at that point, I didn't really look up to anyone in that way before, where it's like, okay, let me listen to what he's saying and let me apply what he's saying to my life. I never did that up until that point. Maybe there was soccer before, but on a business level, on a lifestyle level, on a mindset level, I think he was the first one to really capture my attention. Be like, oh, well, what's this guy talking about? What's he saying? And I felt like, we were going to get into marketing, and we felt like we were into marketing when we were promoting, me and Anth. And I was just very interested in marketing and social media. So I was like, okay, this guy knows what he's talking about, clearly.
And he does it differently.
Does it very differently.
Yeah.
And again, he's kind of like in your face about it, which I liked at that point.
Mm-hmm. Interesting. And you also, one of the things you kept talking about was, your value and how to leverage it. Uh-huh. Where does that come from?
That comes from building value and seeing how people react to it, right? So, you have a certain value and you see how the market reacts to it or your network reacts to it. And then you'll be able to tell, hey, okay, is this strong value that I have enough leverage to open this door with this person or get this client? So you get to try and test that value that you have. And I think I learned about that probably in promoting, where I kept building up my value and I would use that value as leverage. So again, a story I always say is that, I would treat everyone equally in promoting my customer, which wasn't happening a lot in promoting at the time. So again, I didn't care if you were spending $10,000 or you just wanted to come for a beer, I would treat you the same. Now, what happened with that is that I ended up building a very big network, and I had a lot of power within venues to say, hey, like I can bring 500 people every week here. So I began to I start to see that value. I start to see how people would react. The owners would react, or different promoters would react. Like, oh, you know what, Ernesto, you bring a lot of people. You do this, you do that. So you start with a value, and I think you find value through doing things that other people aren't. Now, if I did promoting the same way as the other 1,000 promoters, what value would I really have? I have the same value as all of them, which again, saturated. Maybe there's already 10 more of me. So what value do I really have? But if you take a step back and say, okay, what can I do differently in this industry or this space or this job? That's where you can build value. That's leverage, right? So, I look at leverage as something that we've been building it for the last 10 years.
Yeah.
Right? It's very important. You have to have something that's going to open these doors for you. Right? And I posted a story this morning where I said, reminder that no one's coming to save you. And, I think I really felt that early on in my life, where it's like, hey, it's up to me to build my own value and then open the doors I want to open. I just can't expect people to open doors for me because they even just like me. Does that make sense?
No, definitely.
So I think people got to understand when they have leverage and what to do with it. And I think I learned that at maybe 10 years ago through promoting, and I've brought it with me ever since.
Yeah. Most people struggle. So you said there are two types, right? You have this external value that you offer, but at the same time, you have to internally figure out what that value is.
Yeah.
Most people go their lifetime without figuring out what their value is.
Yeah.
What could you tell people? How do you intrinsically dig deep to find what your value is?
It's a great question. I think number one, you have to try a lot of things. You have to try things, right? If you don't try different things, you're not going to know. Again, like you said, someone might go their whole life without figuring out their value. And I just think that person didn't try enough things, right? Because if you're trying different things, you feel it, right? Like when I was promoting, for example, I felt like I was doing something right. I felt like I was growing. I felt like more people knew who I was week in, week out. So it really comes down to the gut feeling that you have as well. And I always say that, right? Because if your gut's telling you that you're in the right place, you're doing the right thing, which it will tell you, then you got to keep going. And again, it kind of goes back to even those external forces, where there's two different things. There's the external value that people see from you, and then the internal value that you feel within yourself. And if you are following your gut, you'll never worry about anyone else saying anything. So I was a big believer in just following the feelings I felt.
Yeah.
Right. And I was like, throughout my whole, till today, right? Up until today, and I'll do it tomorrow again. But I feel good where I am today. I feel good on this podcast with you. I feel like I'm doing the right thing. Right. Yeah. So, and I really decide big decisions based on that. Big decisions and small decisions. So first of all, you have to have a good gut feeling. Like you really got to trust your gut. And I've always done that. So if you're in a position right now and you feel good about it and you're like, wait, 4 or 5 people around me are telling me that it's not working, but I really feel like this is working, then you got to listen to your gut. You have to. Because if you don't, you're basing your decisions off other people. And who really wants to do that? Because then in 10 years, when you regret the decisions you made, you can't even blame yourself. You're going to be a victim and say, well, that was that person who told me not to do it, or that person and that person. So again, finding value within yourself is not that hard. Because if you're trying different things and you put yourself out there, you will find what you're good at and you will find what you like, right? But you have to really trust your gut and let it drive you. let it decide with you, hey, you know what? You're doing the right thing, Ernesto. And sometimes it'll go the other way where it's like, oh, I don't feel like I'm doing the right thing right now. Or I don't feel like I'm growing. Or, the views are going up maybe, but I don't feel like I'm giving the value I need. You will feel it.
Yeah.
And it's about you kind of digesting that internally and saying, okay, what am I? And I've done that a lot too, where you have to sit yourself down and say, okay, well, what decision am I going to make here? Am I going to make something that is dictated by others, or am I going to go with my gut? And I go with my gut every time. And 90% of the time, it's worth it.
Yeah. And I think it was Gary Vee who said, at the end of the day, it's your gut. Like, you got to listen to your gut. And it was on your podcast, like what you did a couple of weeks ago.
Yeah. And it's true, bro. And like, we've heard it from very successful people.
Yeah.
Where it comes down to the feelings that they feel. When me and Anthony stopped promoting and started the marketing company, we felt good. We felt like we were doing the right thing.
Yeah.
It might have not looked like that dollar amount wise, where it's like, well, what are you guys so happy about? What are you guys so confident about?
Yeah.
Because we know we're on the right path.
Yeah.
Right. And again, it takes a lot of testing things. Me and Anth have done a lot of things that didn't work. Right. And I want to make that clear because you might just think, oh, every time they start a company, it hits. But there's a lot of things we've done that our gut told us, hey, stop this now.
Yeah.
This is not worth it for you, or this is not working, or you having to be this person is not worth it in the long term. So it really comes down to it. And I think most of the successful people in this world have based decision off their gut.
I think it's a fine line, right? Like, yes, your gut definitely plays a part, but there needs to be evidence and like data backed.
That for sure.
For sure, right?
Of course.
But with that, it's interesting because what I'm realizing as I'm growing up is the more experienced you become, the better your gut feel is, and the more you start listening to your gut.
Yes.
Because growing up, everything that I did, let's say with going back to values, right? Like trying out different things. Professional cricketer, you were a pro soccer player, right? Your identity is attached to that thing.
Yeah.
And that's your value.
Yeah.
What's Ernesto's value? Soccer.
Yeah.
That's it. I'm going to be the best goddamn football player out there.
Yep.
Attached cricketer. Okay, great. Then once that journey sort of fades away or like comes to its natural end, you're like, okay, now what do I offer? I don't know.
It's tough. And
then
a lot of
people go down.
A lot of people are there right now. People watching this are in that position right now where even if they're changing a job.
Oh, huge.
Right? Or even if they're like, you know what, I'm going to quit my job. I'm going to become this now. Right? And I think, one thing that I try to do is I try to be very loyal to my future, not my past. Okay? A lot of people, they live in their past and they're so loyal to it. Well, I'm this way because of everything that's happened. I'm this way because of that, or I act this way because of that. Right? And if you put yourself in that position, you can't really grow.
No.
How are you going to grow? Right? So when I went from soccer player to promoting. Those are almost two opposites.
Yeah.
Right? You're talking about you're an athlete, you're worried about your health, you're determined, you're waking up early, you're eating well. On the other side, now my schedule
sleeping at 4 a.m.
drinking, eating bad, whatever, McDonald's late night. You know how it goes.
Yeah.
But I was very blessed to have tried something new right away. Right out of soccer, I started going to the nightlife, and I really liked it.
Mm-hmm.
I enjoyed the fact that, you know what, people need me for this.
Mm-hmm.
I've always been that guy that I wanted people to depend on me in a way.
Gotcha.
I wanted people to need me in a way. And I didn't really have that with soccer too much, but I had it within my team. Like my team needed me.
Yeah.
My coach needed me.
What position did you play?
I played center mid, but I played striker. I played defense a little bit, depending on the team I was on. But center mid was my position. And I really wanted people to depend on me. And I felt that within nightlife very quickly. And I started noticing, hey, there's actually some similarities with what I learned in sport now in hospitality. When it comes to teamwork, when it comes to kind of like, treating people right. I took a lot of that. And again, I was blessed that I found something I liked right off the bat. And I took it and I ran with it, right? And I was very just concentrating on building my value. I wanted to build value to the point where I said, okay, well, I'm going to be someone that every venue wants to work with me.
Yeah.
Every event needs me. Every promoter wants to work under me. Everybody that's going out wants to come out with me. So I decided who I wanted to be, and then I knew the values that I would have to attach to that sort of performance, I guess.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. It's so tough because unless you don't try, you wouldn't know. And just breaking down your point of you got to keep trying.
Yeah.
Most people have this fear of, like, what will people think about this? Or, you know, how am I going to be viewed in society?
Yeah.
But for me, it's like, man, you got to attach. Number one is, I think the best life is when you find your purpose, commit to it. And even if you fail, no stress.
Yeah.
But keep trying it. And if your purpose evolves over time, I think.
Yeah.
So right now it could be podcasting and then it could change later down the line to something else.
Definitely.
But for now, this is it. Right. And you wake up and you go. You fail, get up, go.
Yep.
And this is a great analogy used by a podcast in India, actually.
Okay.
Raj Shamani. He's, he's got this behemoth. It's, I think 11 mil subscribers on
Good for
YouTube.
him.
But then India's like, it's
Massive.
I think YouTube, if you look at YouTube,
Huge market.
it's their number one market.
Yeah.
So if you can make it big in India. So anyway, this guy, he's interviewed, his crazy story, but he has this very good quote or analogy, as I said, which is the most successful people have one thing in common. Whether it's a good day, they work. Whether it's a bad day, they work.
Yeah.
When it's midday, they work.
Yeah.
Son's born, work.
Yeah.
Kid born, whatever, work. Yeah. Anything that you do, you always come back and work. So let's say you've hit a jackpot of Money Buys Happiness or NBA TV has hit, $1 billion in market cap. Great. It's gone IPO.
Yep.
Okay, great. You come back home, you work.
Literally. It's not about how you feel.
Yeah.
This is what people don't understand.
Yeah.
They think their success is they want success, but they're determining whether they're going to work for that success or not based on how they feel. For me, that doesn't make any sense. And it hasn't made sense for a lot. I've never based my work ethic off that. You know, when we're at the highest, I'm working the most. When we do when we have an amazing podcast or we get a huge sponsor, that's when we work even more.
It's crazy, right? Because people think it's an inverse correlation.
Of course.
The more successful you become, the less you work. But actually, no, it's not. It's a direct correlation. You work harder as you achieve more success.
And you have to remember, like in business, in your career, there's a thing called momentum, right? And when momentum finally comes on your side, you cannot relax. You have to double down.
Yeah.
Momentum is very hard to achieve in business, in podcasting, as a creator. Example, as a creator, maybe you've posted 300 reels of you cooking. None of them have hit over 1,000 views. Then all of a sudden you start getting 10,000 on each of them. Do you think that creators should chill or double down right now?
Double down.
Quick success, and again, I'm not a big fan of quick success, but it happens. It happens when you see someone take their momentum and triple, quadruple down on it. So again, that person's not worried about how they feel though. You can't, and again, I think it comes with more pressures, right? So for example, if you're just working for yourself, if you're a videographer, let's say, and you don't have a team and you're a freelancer, it's very hard to feel pressure because you only have yourself to feed and you're going to make decisions just based on what you want. Okay. Now, let's say that videographer now has a team of 10 people and he wakes up on a Tuesday and he's a little frustrated. He can no longer make that decision that, hey, I'm just going to chill today. You have 10 mouths to feed now. So that pressure adds to that. And I feel like the more you feel that pressure, the less you start, you work based on how you feel. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it does. It's fascinating because conceptually it makes sense. But I feel like people don't understand it until they experience it.
That's the thing. And you have to experience it. And this is why I always say to people, like, if you have a plan to build something for yourself or build a company and you're an artist, hire someone.
Yeah.
Just hire. You need someone for sure. If you're trying to grow, then you need someone, whether it's an editor, a copywriter, a web developer, whatever it might be. Hire someone, bring them on board, start building your team, and feel that kind of pressure that's now changed.
Yeah.
You know, when I was in hospitality, I worked for myself. I didn't have to worry about paying other people. If I didn't want to go to the club one night, I just wouldn't go.
Yeah.
And no one would be affected besides my paycheck and potentially the club, how well it did. Fast forward, you start bringing people on. And what Anthony and I did is we actually brought our family on board, which is a different kind of pressure. That's even more.
No, that's direct.
Because now you're thinking, well, you know, we got to pay our sisters at the end of the month, or we got to pay our cousin, or this. It's a different pressure. And when you start realizing that it's bigger than you stop working based on how you feel. Like it's straightforward, but it requires reps, and it requires you to feel that pressure at one point or another. You have to feel it to understand it, like you said.
Yeah. It's fascinating because of recently, actually, one of my reels hit 20K. I was telling you this earlier.
Yep.
I got this buzz, this adrenaline.
Yep.
And I was like, oh. So part of me initially was like, oh yeah, there you go. That's one done. But then a part of me was like, oh, if I could do 20, could I do 40?
Of course you can.
Could I do 80? Could I do
Of course.
100 plus? And so on and so forth. And I was like, oh man, I want to do that now. And all of this is within the past 2 weeks. And recently, my life's pretty much corporate work.
Yep.
Podcast.
Yep.
That's it. I barely socialize. Like, it's not that I cognitively make a decision of, oh, I don't want to hang out. It's more like, I have stuff to do. I'm busy, but I'm fine.
Yeah. And you're happy about it.
And you're happy about it. So
Beautiful.
it's the gut, right? And it's the gut. It's all values synced together, and you're like, shit, I'm doing it.
That's what matters.
Yeah.
Like you said, you're not going to, you're not going out. You're not going to hang out, but you feel good. Now there's someone out there that's going out, even though they don't want to feel part of a circle.
Peer pressure.
And then what happens is it affects your dreams. It affects your goals. If you were trying to do that and still build your podcast in a high level, it wouldn't happen. It's priorities.
Yeah.
And I think people got to grow up.
Yeah.
People really got to grow up, because if you don't make that decision to say, I'm not doing that because I have priorities, who's going to make that decision for you? Me? Am I going to call you and say, hey, bro, you should do this instead? No, I'm not. You have to make decisions for your own life. And we're at a time in our lives right now in the world where people are making decisions every day for other people.
Yeah.
All day. All day.
And you know what's worse? ChatGPT is making decisions for people now as well.
Well, they're just now people have just become one with ChatGPT.
No, I'm seeing a lot of people, like, legit business decisions, relationship decisions.
Yep.
They would use ChatGPT to be like, what would you do? What's the best optimal path? What's the most optimal way to do it?
And that should be a sign of how everyone makes decisions nowadays. Oh, man. Seriously. So imagine they finally get one tool that can help them make any decision they wanted in life. And they're using it to a full extent instead of actually asking themselves. Seriously.
Yeah.
Like when you make those decisions to say, hey, I want to prioritize my podcast, you're having a conversation with yourself. Say, okay, well, why do I want to do this? Because I have faith in it. I want to grow it. I'm happy doing it. It brings joy to me. I get to meet a lot of people. I get to create cool content. So you're having that decision within yourself. And then you finally make that decision just based on your gut. Yep. You know what? I'm right. Let's keep doing this. And then the other side of it is people just not having that conversation at all. They skip that conversation with themselves and they go ask someone else.
Yeah.
Hey, I'm doing this podcast, but do you think I should keep doing it? What the fuck do they know?
Yeah.
What do they know? I don't know everything about your life. I don't know everything about your podcast, your goals, the way you look at it, the way you see it in 6 months from now. So why would I make that decision for you? And that happens every day. It happens every day because people are scared. They're filled with fear of, okay, well, if I do this, what is that person going to think?
Yeah.
Literally just for that.
It's such a judgmental society, but also pertaining to it is the fact that the lack of self-awareness.
It's incredible.
It doesn't exist anymore.
We are almost robotic.
Yeah.
Almost robotic.
Yeah.
And again, there's a lot of things that I've done in my past that have helped me be very aware. You know, there's things like meditating when you're journaling, and these things really help you because you're talking to yourself. If you don't know how to have conversations with yourself and make decisions, then in my eyes, you are not self-aware.
Yeah.
Right? Everyone is kind of like in this little bubble that they're living in where it's like, wake up, they're on their phone all day, go back to sleep. And it's like, well, are you aware of your life at all, your goals, anything like that? And I agree with you. I think one of the biggest problems right now, young people especially, is that they have no self-awareness. They have none.
It's so tough. For me, I learned it purely because I've been living alone for the last 9 years now. So I went to boarding school, then uni, then did the whole thing. Yep. So I've had a lot of time to spend with myself. And naturally, over time, you have a lot of time to think.
Yeah.
And you become a serial overthinker, which is fine. And it's like, I think self-awareness it's a rocky road. Mm-hmm. It's not the easiest thing to just, open up to yourself.
Of course.
So initially it was like, I'd rather open up to someone else than me.
Yeah.
And I used to just like waffle away with people, telling them about my problems versus now it's like, no, I know how to deal with it. But it is very intimidating, but
for sure,
I promise you, if you open up to yourself, you will answer all questions that you have.
For
and
sure.
And I'm not saying you don't need therapy or like you don't need to speak to someone else, which you should, but you'll be so shocked how much you actually learn about.
And it's crazy because should it really be intimidating to have a conversation with yourself? And that stems down to, again, fear. Well, I rather talk to you about my problems because that's easier for me. You're going to tell me something that's going to make me feel good about myself. You're going to tell me it's okay. Right? But if I have that conversation with myself, I might realize it's not okay. Or where I'm at in life is not okay. Or the way I feel is not okay. And for me, the fact that it is intimidating to have a conversation with yourself, it's very sad. It's very sad. Because the fact that someone can't look in the mirror and tell themselves how they're actually feeling, but they can turn around and go to therapy and tell someone all about it. That to me is what's wrong with society right now. That external need for affirmations from other people. If we sat here and named some of the most successful people in the world, we could probably say, you know what? That guy's had 1 million conversations with himself. That guy has spent 1 million hours by himself.
Yeah.
The answers are within you. And it goes back to the gut, right? You can't not have conversations with yourself and look at yourself in the mirror and then think you're going to live a life that's happy in your eyes or reach success that you want to reach. It just doesn't work.
No. Do you think self-awareness is different between men and women? As in, do you think in society right now, the distribution of self-awareness is higher in one gender or the other, or like any gender, I guess?
I don't know. I think, but I will say, I think one thing that differs potentially, and again, I'm speaking in general terms, is probably what the man versus the woman is thinking about. Right? I think a lot of men nowadays, when they have the conversations with themselves, they're thinking, well, why don't I make this much money yet? Or why don't I have that car yet? Or why don't I have that company yet?
Very materialistic.
Very materialistic, very business oriented.
Transactional almost as well.
Yeah, right? Because again, but men look at themselves as that protector. As that, hey, I want to be that man that can provide. I want to make money. I want to be the guy. I want to be a leader. And I think for women, it might be different, right? I can't speak on women's behalf, but I'm thinking it might be more about relationships. It might be more about family. Hey, why don't I have a kid yet? right? So I think there's different ways that, again, generalizing men and women, I think they think about different things. And I think what worries a man today differs from what worries a woman today, right? And I think for men, it's scary, right? Because you're in a world now where at any point you could just turn on your phone and be completely demoralized by everyone else's success.
Mm-hmm.
And I think a lot of men nowadays, they realize how important money is to have. It's crazy to say that, but like it's true.
And in today's economy, like right now, man, it's like I live in downtown, right? Dude. Oh my God. It is every day, every time I walk around. So within my building, within like a 2-block radius, there's like 12 homeless people.
Wow.
And it keeps changing.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, holy shit.
Yeah.
And it just sends you straight to, and sometimes I'm like, that could be me.
Of course.
Very well.
Of course.
And sometimes when I look at what corporate jobs pay you as well, it doesn't match, obviously it doesn't match inflation, but it's like, it's so tough. So, and in that whole stigma from a man in today's society to be the quote unquote provider, etc.
Yeah.
Man, it's something. I had this whole quarter life crisis thing it is a real thing. Quarter life crisis. Last year, I remember I had a couple of, unfortunate events at the beginning of the year. And then all of a sudden I was like, oh my God, I need to be the provider.
Yeah.
And I've just started working. I've just gotten out of school. How do I do this? I don't even know what that path is. Yeah. And I just ate up my own brain, went down these roads, and I was like, holy shit.
Yeah.
Like I'm screwed. I'm like, that's it.
Yeah.
There's no reason to live it. So I was like, these dark thoughts. But what I realized was, why am I thinking this way? It's relevant. I understand it. But how scared I became thinking I'm a man, I need to do it a certain way. And I was just like, wow. Yeah. A lot of people probably go through that as well.
There's a lot of pressure on men, right? I think more than ever. But I do agree that, as a man, and I think the world has demonized making money. Mm-hmm. Like if you prioritize making money, you're almost looked at as a bad guy.
Yeah.
Which is very stupid. Mm-hmm. Because I would argue that as a man today, if you're not making money, that's your first problem. And that's a big problem. Right? So do I think that a lot of men overthink it and worry about it like you did and say, well, I'm screwed? Yeah. But I also think a lot of them should have that pressure and feel that because the real world out there is you need money. And I don't think there's been a time ever that you've needed as much money as you do now to provide, to have success, to be able to make decisions. That's what, in my opinion, that's what being a man is. Right? You should be able to walk away from things you don't want to walk away from. You should be able to provide for your family at any given time. You should be able to have funds that if something goes bad, you can make it good. That requires a lot of work. So, for any young men watching this, you don't have to make $10 million by the time you're 23, but it is something you need to think about. You need to think about how you're going to make money throughout your life. And it's going to be a constant thing you think about.
Yeah.
And again, I think a lot of men go through it, but it's also about, you mentioned the homeless people. And a lot of times homeless people just have a bad piece of luck, right? But I will say this, a lot of the time too, the reason they're in the position they are is because of their mindset. So just think about that. Think about how powerful your mind is.
Yeah.
That you can either become a billionaire or you can end up homeless.
Yeah.
Right? So going back to it, it's about what you fill your brain with every day. If you are waking up every day and you're mad and you're sad and you're frustrated and you say, you know what, because I'm so mad and frustrated, I'm just going to play some video games and smoke some weed and get this pain away. And tomorrow we'll worry about it again. You can't do that.
Yeah.
You can't live a life like that. At one point or another, like I say, no one's coming to save you. You're going to have to wake up and say, well, if this is the life I want, I got to fill my brain with better things.
Yeah.
I got to find people online that I want to be like, so I'm going to listen to them.
Mm-hmm.
If someone is 21, 22, and all they're doing is listening to hip hop music and watching cartoons, well, what's happening in their mind? Nothing.
Mm-hmm.
But if you wake up every day and you say, well, I expect better from myself.
Yeah.
And you start reading books. Read a Napoleon Hill book. Oh, yeah. Watch a video of Bob Proctor. Open your mind.
Yeah.
What I would do is I would just listen to Gary Vee. That was my guy for a minute. I was just like, let me just listen. When I listen to him, I feel like I'm on the right path. So let me keep listening to him. When I watch PBD, I feel like I could be someone like him. He makes me feel like everything I'm doing in business works. So let me keep watching him.
Yeah.
So again, I think people are filling their minds with the wrong information, the wrong content at all times, bro. At all times. Or they're brain rot. They're just scrolling through. Oh my God, this guy's living better than me. Look at that girl. I wish I had her. Oh. What are you doing? You're just digging yourself a hole. So I think for young men, you really got to think twice about the kind of music you listen to, the books you read, the videos you're watching, because that is forming your mind right now, and you just don't know it.
Yeah. It's that quote, right? You are what you eat.
Literally.
You are what you consume.
Yep.
And at the end of the day, my advice for anyone watching is skip that movie.
Yeah.
Put a podcast on. Learn something, even whatever it might be.
Yeah.
But it's arts and crafts, no issues.
Dude.
Anything that has a direct correlation to what you want to do.
Yeah.
Yes, go figure that out.
Yeah.
Maybe you try different things. Until you don't try those things, you wouldn't know. But that goes back, requires self-awareness. Well, go spend time with yourself. Sit in a room. There's this crazy exercise about manifestation, right? But the idea is like you sit in a room, not the idea like, okay, you want to just manifest things.
Yeah.
But like, how do you program your brain to be in the optimal state for you to work, which is literally 1 hour a day.
Yeah.
Go sit in a room and do nothing.
Yeah. So powerful.
That's it.
I know.
I've never done it. I've never, till today,
Yeah.
26 years of me being on this planet,
Yeah.
I've never sat alone for 1 hour.
Wow.
I've either walked around, whatever. Kind of counts, but I've said just me sitting, doing nothing.
Yeah.
Because what happens is after half hour, all your thoughts, all your issues that you have with yourself, that this is going back to self-awareness.
Yeah.
You start answering your own questions.
There you go.
And at the end of the 1 hour, you've answered, I would say 80% of your questions.
Yeah.
And they could be like mega, mega stressful things.
Yep.
But within that hour, you'll have a lot of clarity
Of course.
into it.
Well, I mean, my life changed when I started spending time with myself.
Same.
I was in a life where I was always with people, always around a lot of people. Even if I was just hanging out, I'd be with 5, 6 people. Go home, then I'm on my phone, talking to people. Then I'm off my phone. Then I'm maybe playing video games. I'm talking to people there.
Yeah.
Right? And I realized that I have all the answers within myself. And it started off by saying, okay, here, we have this one problem and it's bothering me. Well, let me just think about it for a bit. Let me think about it without looking at my phone, without listening to music, without looking at my TV. Let me just think about it for a sec. And like you said, the answers come, right? If you have a problem, there's a good chance you're going to end that hour with the problem being solved, or you have a plan now of some sort. Or if you were overreacting about something so small, which we do all the time, go sit down. And by the end of that hour or that half hour, you're going to realize that that's a speck of dust. Yeah. It's just a little grain of sand compared to the world that we have and the world that's ahead of you. Right? So, I was a big thinker for a long time. And I think spending time with myself changed that completely. And I think people think it's cheesy when they hear that. Oh, what am I going to do? Sit by myself? Yeah.
Legit.
Sit by yourself in a room and sit down. And I used to keep a lot of feelings within myself. You know, used to keep a lot of problems within myself. And then I started writing them down. And then I read them back. And I'm like, well, that's not that big of a problem. I could figure that out, right? But again, I even want to make a point about going back to it, who you're watching, the characters that you're watching. And, you know, like I mentioned, the PBD or a Bob Proctor. Or, you don't have to find someone that you need to be exactly like. You don't need to find one mentor that you're going to mimic across the board. You can find, you know, I like Gary Vee because I really like his marketing knowledge. That's one thing. Do I think that I'm like Gary Vee? No, because we have a lot of things different about us. And I'm happy about that. Now, maybe I take my sort of conviction in the way I speak from maybe a PBD. I really like the way he communicates.
Yeah.
Okay. Now maybe I look at Bob Proctor and I say, I really like the way he has such an open mind. I want to have an open mind like him. So we're taking things from certain people and we're building our own character. That's the way I look at it. I think when people think mentor, they just think, oh, well,
one person, become like him.
I like Dwayne Johnson. I like The Rock. And I want to be exact. Like, that's where people fall off from mentorship and from looking up to people. Work ethic wise, I love Ronaldo. I think there's no one in the world that's worked as hard as him to get what he has. Am I in soccer? No. I'm in marketing and entrepreneurship. But I take what he's done work ethic wise. And then if you build it across the board, you have 7, 8 people that you're just trying to take one characteristic from and add to yourself. I think it's key for people, right? Like, take a little bit from someone. You don't have to take it all. As long as that little bit is helping you build what you want to build, and it really comes down to, again, going back to it, you have a conversation with yourself. And I did this. I sat down with myself and I said, well, who do I want to be? That's important. And you may not have the full answer when you do the first time. But if you think about, who do I want to be in life? Okay, I want to be a successful entrepreneur that has a family, that's a good leader, that can communicate well, and that understands his business, which is marketing, let's say. Now I reverse engineer it and say, well, who's the best at this? Who's the best at this? Who's the best at this? Let me go watch them. Very simple. Right? And for example, let's say podcasting. If I was watching my podcast from early on and I said, well, I want to be a better podcaster. I should speak more with my hands. I should be more animated. I should talk with more conviction. Okay, let's go look at who's doing that. And let's watch them. Right? So people stop learning in life. People stop studying in life. I like to study people, bro. I really like to study people. And I say, well, why is this guy so successful? Or why is he so good at that? I want to take that from him and put that in my Rolodex.
You know what? You know how you said you spoke about the idea of delusion?
Yep.
There is a little bit of delusion over here, which is, oh, I think I can become that guy.
Yeah, of course.
Right? So it's going back to it.
For sure.
And one of the biggest things that I love about myself is I love to learn, man.
You have to.
Ever since I've adopted that mindset, life's changed. And I'm not saying I've become a fucking millionaire or something. No. But it's more like internally, in my mind, I am.
There you go.
And it's so liberating because having this chat, oh man, gonna learn so much. I spoke to Nate, learned so much the other day. I watched F1, the movie. I'm a huge motorsports guy. So Scuderia Ferrari.
Of course.
Right?
Of course.
Italian. So I've been into Formula One since I was a kid. So watched the movie the other day. I learned something from the movie from Brad Pitt. And I was like, aha. It's a fictional character, but damn, that makes sense. And I'm always in that mindset now. It's like a default setting now. And it's such a beautiful thing.
It's amazing.
I just wish I could teach this to people because most men specifically that I speak to are lost. And they're so lost because I feel like they're overwhelmed with societal norms, with the pressure that a man has to go through, which is unrealistic sometimes. And I feel like ancient perception of men is what's being carried today. Okay. But there needs to be space to actually optimize for being a man now
Yeah.
with the new norms that are. And that's where it becomes much of an issue, where people don't understand that.
Mm-hmm.
So going back to your point about learning, yes, learning's great and everyone needs to learn, but you got to be in that mindset to learn.
Yeah.
So my question then is, so besides making money and coming into this learning mindset, where do you think masculinity is in 2025? Like going back to that again.
Yeah, I think with the societal norms that we have now, men can get really deflated quickly. Right? It's like, why don't you make that money yet? Or why aren't you jacked yet?
Yeah.
Literally from every angle. Why don't you have a family yet? Why aren't you married yet? Why don't you have a girlfriend yet? Why don't you have a team yet? So this is very draining for a young man. And again, they don't have too many figures to look up to in a good way. Right? And I think, my one piece of advice for any young men out there, you can't control if that girl leaves you. You can't control if that job fires you. You can't control, a lot of things, but there is some stuff you can control. One of them is your mind. And I really took that to a whole other level where I said, okay, well, what's one thing that's going to stay with me my whole life? It's not that client. It's not that podcast guest. It's not that employee. It's my mindset and the knowledge that I have. So I was at a point too where I didn't know really what I was going to do. We had neighborhood. We were promoting a bit. We were doing this, doing that. And I said, okay, well, this seems to be normal, that I can't control the flow of my clients or what people think of me, anything like that. But what I will control is my mind and how sharp I am and the knowledge that I have. So I think if you're lost right now and you're a man, start learning.
Yeah.
Get your knowledge up. Read books. You will become a valuable person if you have valuable knowledge. So what can I do? Let's say I was 27 and I was thinking, well, I have this business, it's doing okay. I don't have a girlfriend. My relationships go up and down. But what's a 28-year-old not doing that I can do? And I was like, read books. If I come into a room and I've read 30 books and the other person didn't read a book, I will shine. I will outshine that person. If I study people I really want to be like, and they're good traits, then I will walk into rooms in a better position than the person who stopped learning. The problem that we see is that guys are flustered and I just want to make money and then they stop learning. If you stop learning in a world like today that moves fast, because if I learned about marketing 5 years ago, guess what? That's done.
You're good.
People think, oh, I learned marketing. I'm good. Marketing changes every day. So
do you change?
I constantly change.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm constantly changing, but in the ways that I want, not in the ways that society's making me change. There's two different things. There's one aspect where it's like, okay, well, I'll change for the better me. Okay, what does that look like? That means I'm waking up and I'm doing things to add to my mindset. I'm doing things that will help me my whole life be able to make deals, sell products, be able to talk to someone, be able to talk with conviction. Right? Okay, cool. Then there's the other way where it's like, oh man, I'm not doing nothing. I can't do it anymore. I'm so unmotivated. Let me just go back to my 9 to 5.
Yeah.
So there's two ways to look at it.
Definitely. Is the glass half full or half empty? Right.
That's that answer has changed for me many times. But what I will say again, I think people need to learn. Yeah. They need to keep learning. Right now, I'm learning. If I go and watch a YouTube video today, it's because I'm going to learn something from it. We just started streaming, for example. Now I'm learning all about streaming. I'm watching great streamers. I'm looking at the products they use. I'm looking at the equipment they use. So how's that going to help me in the future? Well, of course it's going to help me because I want to take that direction. And the more I know about it, the more successful I'll be.
Yeah.
So again, a big thing for me was always learning how to be a good leader, be a good communicator, and be really good at marketing. So I always constantly learn about those things. Always. The moment I stop doing that, I've stopped growing.
Mm-hmm. Modern masculinity is at such an interesting paradigm right now.
Yep.
Learning is like, and this is the thing, like learning is such a huge part of literally blossoming yourself, becoming that butterfly from a cocoon. But most people get so overwhelmed in this fast-paced life. Mm-hmm. So I was looking into it, what's the biggest problem men face right now? That was kind of what I was going through. And I came across this, so Chris Williamson, as I'm sure, yeah, exactly. So he came with this. He's like, and I'm going to read this and I want to gauge your reaction to it. He says, the biggest problem is that we're not really listening to men's problems. They're being dismissed out of hand as whining from a patriarchy that men no longer feel a part of. I think we are being made to pay for the advantages our fathers and forefathers had. And mental health of young men right now is that in 1990, the percentage of men who said they have zero close friends was 3%. And in 2020, it's 15%. And yet all of that benefits that men have had throughout history are continuing to be used to dismiss any of the concerns that they might have today. Also, outlier success are being used to forget what normal distribution of men go through. If you look at CEOs, many guys, if you look at them, fair enough, quite a bit of them, look at how many of them are men and how many of them have killed themselves or have been addicted to drugs, in prison, or are homeless as well. Yeah. You can't use Jeff Bezos and Elon Musk to excuse 14 million unemployed men. Like, do these two people make 14 million people feel better? No.
And let me add to that. We have no idea how Elon Musk feels on a day-to-day.
Yeah.
Or Jeff Bezos. You see the picture of Jeff on his yacht. That's fine. But you don't see him late night with what he's got to worry about. You would have no idea the stresses that he has. Right? So I think to add to that, we also look at men that oh, look, he's happy, but you don't know that. Right? I think it's a great quote.
Yeah.
I think he killed it. Again, it goes to what men have to look at day to day out there.
Yeah.
With social media now. And this kid's 21, he made 10 million.
Yeah.
This kid's 24 and he has 3 McLarens. What am I doing?
Yeah.
Right? So there's the pressure there. Then there's the mental health side where, I feel like men can't really speak about their issues too much because it's looked at as like, oh, you don't have
societal stigma, right?
It's just a stigma where it's like, oh, you don't have those. Like, you're going to be fine. You're going to be okay. Right? But it's really not like that. And I think, the approach I would take is that you have to put matters into your own hands.
Yeah.
You could have done the same thing where you said, well, look at the time I'm in right now. The most men are committing suicide more than ever.
Yeah.
Men don't have families anymore like they used to. Men don't have that respect before that they used to. Oh, well, that's life now. That's the world I'm in. I'll just play victim. I'm not about that. I think every man watching this or listening to this is strong enough to get out of the hole they're in.
Yeah.
All on their own. Sometimes we don't put ourselves in the hole we're in. Sometimes unfortunate things happen. If there's a kid out there, maybe he lost his mom. He lost his dad. That's tough. That's a tough break. You didn't really put yourself in that hole, but you're strong enough to get yourself out. I think what happened with society is that they tried to make men feel weak. Right? I think that really happened.
Try to make men feel weak. Okay.
Well, you have these things like toxic masculinity.
Yeah.
And now you have a young man saying, well, okay, just because I got a little bit aggressive one time or I was mad or I was passionate about something, am I toxic?
But that stems from ancient, like how men were perceived and what the picture of an ideal male archetype would look like.
For sure.
Right? So some of the things I actually looked into, I was like, what would be the dominant masculine norms from the past, right? So the ones I have are, physical strength, emotional toughness, self-reliance, competitiveness, risk-taking, protector, toughness and aggression.
There you go.
Winning,
There you go.
dominance,
There you go.
even sexual dominance as well.
For sure.
Virility, control, power, heroism, honor, courage, like the list goes on. And I was just thinking, I was like, oh my God, if that is our archetype that everyone needs to abide by, that's going to cause a lot of
100%. But I will say too, like for example, I think as a man, you should be as healthy and fit as you can.
Yeah.
I think that's been pushed in another direction where it's like, hey, it's okay if you're 40 years old and you're obese. I don't think that's okay. I'll be honest. Because you are a direct reflection of how much you care about yourself. So when I see you and I see your biceps, right? I say, well, this guy has work ethic. This guy cares about himself. And clearly he wants to protect something. That's how I look at it. And, I think there's sides of it where men have been kind of demonized to do these things. Like I said, like making money and when we were kids, we used to watch Superman.
Yeah.
I want to be like Superman. I'm Superman, Mom. Flying around with your cape. Why did you want to be like Superman? Did anyone ever stop and think that? Because he was a leader. He was a protector. He was jacked. That's something that, again, I don't think everybody has to be Superman. But to look up to Superman is a good thing. This is what I'm trying to say. And I think the Supermans of our world are gone now. Who do men look up to? Who are they supposed to look up to? Who? I would say when you look politics, those aren't real men in my eyes. Again, I'm generalizing. I think a lot of them are doing things that don't protect, don't serve.
It's a very tricky space, right? It's like,
but then again, okay, cool. Let's look at actors.
Yeah.
We used to have Tom Cruise flying through the air. I want to be like Tom Cruise. Look at him. He's looked up to. People are impacted by him. They're influenced by him. But those heroes are not around anymore.
Yeah.
Who do we look up to now? We look up to rappers. Why? Because they have money and bling and they got girls around them. So the idols have changed. The people that men are supposed to look up to has changed. And in my opinion, not in a good way.
I really like this point.
Then you see, why did Andrew Tate blow up? Because he's bald? No. Because he says crazy shit? So what? A lot of people say crazy shit. No, it's because there was a huge population of men that said, wait a minute, what did he say? Why didn't I hear that before? Why didn't no one ever tell me, stop crying about that little problem and go to the gym and take your stress out?
Yeah.
Or hey, stop playing video games and read that book. How come I was never told that? This is new to me. Let me listen to what this guy's saying. And again, you don't have to agree completely with what Andrew Tate has said. There's a lot of people that agree with 90% of shit he said. That's where I fall in. And the reason why he got all that traction and influence very quickly is he was saying something that was missing for a long time.
Yeah.
So just the fact that he blew up should tell you where men are at. That they're missing that sort of figure. That it's no more, when you're in school. Nowadays, school, to me, is a complete joke. Hey, it's okay if you can't do this. It's okay. You're going to be fine. Or, you go to a track meet, and now everyone's first place. They all get a medal.
You know what that reminds me of?
It's crazy.
There was a meme. I was like, British sports in Britain versus sports in the US. And in Britain, everyone's like, screw this, like, you piece of shit, this, that. And then in the US, it's like, hey, well done, everyone. The guy finishing last also gets a medal.
and what kind of strength do you get from that? Nothing.
Nah.
You only get strength when you lose.
Yeah.
So all those times that I was a kid and I was in school and I didn't get that first place medal, I lost, but I said, I want to win. That's not how I want to feel. I want to win. And another problem is that guys aren't feeling these losses anymore because of the way the education system is, the way that we can't say anything anymore, the way that we have to be over sensitive with everything we say and treat people. Right? But when you have that, you end up growing up and thinking the world is this easy place, loving place. No, man. The world is a hard place. It's a tough place. It'll eat you up and spit you back out if you're not ready. And I think...
But how many times can you do that and be persistent? That's a huge part of it now.
As much as you want to win.
Yeah, exactly.
As much as you want to win.
But people fear that exact. Like, oh, if I get spat out, I'm done. No, you're not.
Absolutely not.
Nah, you get up, you go again.
And I would say, on a positive note, where our world's at, it's never been easier to dictate your own career.
Yeah.
With what we have with our phones and social media and tools and AI and all this stuff, like, you could be successful if you really want. And it might be easier than ever today. So how many times are you going to get chewed up and spit out? As many times as you need to win. That's as simple as it is. And if you get chewed up and spit out once and you're done, you're not ready for that life. That's something you have to swallow. You're just not strong enough. What's it going to take for you to become strong enough to take more L's? Right? If you ask me, the only reason I'm here today is because of the amount of L's that I took, not my wins. My wins didn't get me here. My losses got me here because they made me stronger.
Yeah.
If I lose one time, I just say, well, how come I lost? I need to be better at this. I need to get better at this. I need to learn this. Then we get back to the drawing board, get better, and go off to the next challenge. But going back to it, I think men don't have enough figures or idols or mentors to look up to. They're just not as obvious anymore to find. It used to be easy.
I love that point because when you said it just now, a couple of minutes ago, it just hit me that when I finished cricket, I just went down this spiral of an identity crisis.
Yeah, of course.
Then I went into, finished my undergrad, did my master's, and I was pretty much like, who am I to be sitting in a boardroom and contributing to a corporate meeting?
Yeah.
Like, I don't know anything about this. I just know how to play cricket. That's it.
Yeah.
Versus now, it's a different story. But during that time and this quarter life crisis period, I couldn't find anyone to look up to. And I actually went through that. And I was like, who do I like? Who could I aspire to?
Yeah.
And I kept, obviously you have your parents, you have
sure.
you have all your, those kind of figures
course.
who definitely you look up to, at least in my case. But that external, that one person being like, man, like I like what he's done with himself. I like what he stands for. I like his values. That's like a North Star.
Yep.
Until, I used to watch Chris Williams since I was, I don't know, since he started podcasting 2018, 2019.
Okay.
But it was up until 2 years ago when it actually hit me, some of the things he said. And I was like, wait a second. He's gone from being on Love Island, which is the show of like
brain rot content,
rot stuff, to being one of the most intellectually curious people out there.
Yep.
And he's coining his own terminologies now. He's gone, but I was like, okay, how has he done this? So I looked into his past. I was like, okay, went there, didn't feel like it was the right thing for him. Yeah, okay, maybe got a bit of fame and whatnot. Went club promoting after that. Did his whole thing. And then all of a sudden he's like, I don't need to be doing this because I'm curious. Why am I the way I am? Why are humans the way they are? And then he just went on this podcast binge and look where he is now. 3 years ago, I think he had 400K on YouTube of 500. He has 3.7 mil today. And so for me, I think 2 years ago, I was like, that's the guy. Look what he's done. And I was like, okay, so the idea, and funny enough, I have a podcast now. but it didn't click. That altered to that's a whole different story.
Yep.
But I was like, wow. But that was the guy. But most people, and then through him, I found Simon Sinek, Mark Manson. You have Naval Ravikant. You have Gary Vee, and all, and PBD.
Yep.
And I was like, whoa.
Yeah.
I then going back to what you said, bit of that, bit of that. It's
There
like
you
you're shopping in a candy store
Yep.
for your own intellectual competence.
Of course.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay. This is Sachin now. This is the ideal version I want to get to. That was the journey of it.
But first thing is, again, look how influenced you were, and you didn't even know it.
Nope. I had to recognize it.
By the stuff that you're feeding your brain.
Yeah.
Look at that. You don't even feel it sometimes.
No.
Things are just, you're moving now in a different way because you're influenced by this person.
Yeah.
So now decisions you're making day to day are influenced by that person, and you just don't even know it.
Yeah.
And I think that you put yourself in a great position. And I think that a lot of people, shout out Rob the Bank, a great friend of mine. And he really believes that you have to build your character like we are in a video game.
Yeah.
Right? And we're not far from it.
No.
I think that you need to look at life as you are building your character. The same way that someone is going to go play GTA 5 and build up their character. Same way that they're going to go play The Sims and build up their character. People need to look at life like that.
Mm-hmm.
And I think what you did is a great example of what people need to do.
Mm-hmm.
You looked at someone and you said, well, okay, he's adapted his career 3-4 times. Okay, that's like me. So all of a sudden, you feel a little bit of attachment to his story and you want to know more. And then now you looked at him and you said, well, this guy's just a normal guy. And so am I. So why can't I be there? And that's how it really starts. Then you opened up your brain and you said, okay, well, if I like that about him,
Who else?
then I'm going to like this about them. And you're building that character.
Yeah.
And I promise you, the same way that they're successful, if you go ask PBD, he is a mix of the 8-9 people that he studied his whole life.
Yes.
He really is. He's mentioned it many times. He has the list. He has a portrait of all the people in his office with him sitting with them. It's very cool portrait. But when you see a guy like that at the top of his success, and I think he'll be even more successful in the future, well, he did it too. He didn't just come out of the womb and he was PBD.
He comes from humble beginnings.
Very humble.
Yeah.
Same with Gary Vee. These guys didn't just pop out and, he's Gary Vee with combined following of 50 million followers. They built themselves to get there. And they didn't reinvent the wheel. Another thing where people think they have to do that, where it's like, well, okay, if I'm going to be successful, then I have to be so unique and so different. And no, you don't. There's people out there who have already did what you want to do.
Yeah.
Now they did it in their own way, but you can take that. If you study that, the same way we study when we're in school and we have to do the test the next day, study people like that. How did Chris speak to that guest? I really liked how did he do that? Okay, he was looking at him the whole time. He was using his hands. He was letting him speak. He wasn't cutting him off. Okay, let me write this down, put this down in a note, and I'm going to just read this over and over again before my next podcast. You study and you get better.
Yeah.
All these guys that we're talking about, guess what they all have in common? They're all getting better. They keep getting better.
Yeah.
I look at Patrick Bet-David and I say, well, how is this guy still getting better? Like from last year to this year, he's an even better communicator. He's even more confident. He's even more knowledgeable. All these guys have something in common. They're great because they never stopped getting better. The moment you stop growing. It's very simple.
I don't understand how people live like when they have a 9 to 5, for example.
Yeah.
Let's say you've spent 30 years in one company at the same position. You've hit the cap.
Yep.
Right? You've hit the ceiling of, I don't know, VP, president, I don't know, partner, and they just stay there. They just float.
Yeah.
And life takes over and they're like, yeah, I'm good. It's a scary thought in my head for me.
Well,
But for a lot of people, that's fine.
it's the society norm,
Yeah.
right? And that changes over time too. Like now we're seeing a lot of 23-year-olds they're entrepreneurs, right? And they're saying, well, I'm not even going to go that. Listen, when it comes to having a 9 to 5, I think it's completely fine. I think people moving up a ladder to get to a certain position is fine. Is that my life? No. Do I think that a lot of people are comfortable with that life? Yes. But do I think a lot of them could have been destined for more in life if they were not maybe fearful of what might come out of it? And again, in our world that we live in, we need people who think differently. If there was everyone that thought like me, then who would I be?
Yeah.
Right? Or who would you be? And I think the way you look at things is also because you have learned a lot about yourself the last few years. I think you have opened up your eyes a lot more the last few years. But that's because bad things have happened to you. And maybe you didn't have control over them. But because those bad things happened to you, you look at the world a different way. Sometimes people just haven't had enough loss in their life or bad things happen to them where they have to, again, some of the times that I've grown is because I had no choice. It's either I do this or I don't.
Yeah. Valid.
Very scary place to be. But a lot of people, they might not even go through any sort of hardships like that. They might just go to school, they get a good job, and they work up the ladder. Is that very difficult? Not really to me.
No.
So what hardships are you facing in order to see the world a different place? You don't. You end up living in this bubble that you think the world's a certain way. And you probably noticed that too. If you talk to someone that has been working a 9 to 5 since they were 18, compared to what you're trying to build now, you already see things way differently than them.
Oh, it's man, it's like, it's a huge difference. That discrepancy is massive.
And the difference is you're experiencing life.
Yeah.
That's the difference. With life comes losses. It comes hardships. Comes relationships you need to end.
Yeah.
It comes with, oh my God, how am I going to make money to cover my next bill? It comes with that stuff, man. And unless you experience that stuff,
Yeah.
you won't ever understand. Like for you to be here
Yeah.
on a Saturday and we're talking is beautiful. You understand that this is kind of like your own freedom. The freedom for me to come here. I've learned about this freedom from hardships. I've learned about this freedom from not having these freedoms. Does that make sense?
Absolutely.
Because I want freedom. I really want my own freedom.
And people often associate freedom with money.
There you go.
Okay, that's a part of it.
Just a part of it. But it's also doing what I want to do every day.
So that whole concept of doing what you love for a living, that's what people...
And I've done it. I've been able to do it. So I know it's real. So I look at happiness and freedom differently than someone that, say, had a 9 to 5 for the last 10 years.
How would you describe it to someone now? Your definition of happiness and freedom.
I think really it's being able to wake up and control whether I have a successful day or not. Whether I win or lose, it's my fault. And that's a pressure that people don't want. Think about it. If I wake up today and we do a lot of great things today and we lock in a client or we get a great sponsor, I get a great podcast host, that was because of me. Now, again, when I say me, I'm talking about my team and everyone around me. And guess what? If I wake up one day and I bomb a podcast and I lose a sponsor, that's my fault. And I like that. I like having control, whether I win or lose, to a certain extent. We all have, again, external factors that we can't control. But if I was to wake up every day and go give 100% to another company, and then the next day give 40%, and nothing changes in my life, that's where I have a problem. I need to be able to have impact on the things I do. That's the type of person I am.
Mm-hmm.
If I'm going to do something, you're going to know Ernesto's part of it.
Mm-hmm.
I want impact. A lot of people don't care to have that impact, and that's okay. But me personally, I made the decisions I made because I want to be an impactful person.
Yeah.
I want you to leave this podcast and be like, what a great pod. That was a great conversation. He impacted me in some way.
Mm.
And going that other route of, let's say, working for a company, moving up the ladder, it's a waste of my impact. It's a waste of my potential talent.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and I learned about wasted talent through soccer.
Mm.
That's where I realized, like, oh, fuck, that guy's so good, but he doesn't work hard.
Yeah.
That sucks. Like, he could have been something so special.
There's a very interesting thing I've noticed to this point of, I feel like a lot of athletes who didn't make it often go down that entrepreneurial path.
Yeah.
Right?
Of course.
But there's I was like, why though?
Yeah.
So I love asking why. Mm-hmm. I think there's a 5 why framework.
Okay.
Which is pretty much like, to your point of, oh, I like Chris Williamson. Like, why?
Yeah.
Okay, what is he doing? Okay, why? Why do I like him? Okay, I like to play cricket. Why? I like the movie. Why? Because most people you ask, why do you like it? They'll be like, oh, just like it.
Yeah.
No, but why do you like it, man?
Yeah.
Okay, you want to go to dental school? Why?
Yeah.
Make good money. Why do you want to make money?
Yeah.
Okay, it's just like distilling it down to the 5 whys.
Yeah.
So any issue you're going through, ask yourself the 5 whys.
Yeah.
You will probably get a very good picture. But
that's genius.
Exactly.
That's
so going
genius.
back to the whole, so I was like, the education system, especially the schooling system in high school, primary school, whatever, you're being primed to become an employee.
Programmed.
Programmed.
Yep.
Everything that you do is finish your school,
yep.
Get into a degree,
yep.
Get a good undergrad. If you want to do masters, join a big company, you're good, you're set.
Yep.
Now, for me and someone like you, during our childhood years or teen years, playing a sport at a very high level,
yep.
that takes your focus the whole time.
Yep.
It's either this or nothing,
yep.
Which is a great blessing because we don't succumb to the stereotypical.
There you go.
Prime. Now, when we finish, and all of a sudden, well, I've had to adapt myself to be like, oh, I need to join the rat race, so to say. There is a lot of value in it. I'll tell you that. Like, especially early in your career, that big company. I'm still doing it. I can imagine,
for sure.
A lot of great value.
Yep.
But for me to see some other people, it's a lot easier to be like, why am I not like that? Or why can't I do that?
Yeah.
Versus someone who's been trained and programmed to be following that roadmap, it is so hard for them to be like, oh, something else exists outside this?
Yep.
What?
Yep.
You must be mad to even be thinking about it.
Yep.
Nah, man.
Yep.
I know people who do that.
Yep.
Plus, I low-key through my sporting years, because in sports, there's always uncertainty.
Of course.
You don't know if your position's going to be, if you're going to be playing the next game.
Yep.
You have one bad game. You're only as good as your last game. So boom, off you go. What you do? Shit, entrepreneur.
Yep.
Okay, I need to work on myself, do this. Okay, fine. But you're your own business at that point. That translates into when you finish sport. Okay.
Yep.
So that's why you are the way you are. Mm-hmm. Versus had you have been a student, that's it.
Yep.
There's a chance we wouldn't be having this chat.
No way. No way. And you said it really well, man. That was really well put. Honestly. I think people, and that's what I've noticed too. I think people who have been programmed in that way, they can't even fathom the fact that they could do something. It's just not in their Rolodex. They're not thinking about it. Right? But unless you experience things, and I think sport is amazing for that. Because like you said, you could be starting one day, the next day you're not. But what I mentioned earlier is like, I like to have control over my success or whether I win or lose. So in sport, it was very simple. Hey, Ernesto, could have done better that game. If you want to play next game, these are the things you need to do. Learn, implement, get better. But I had control. I could have just said, you know what? I ain't listening to you. Then I'm not starting. But still in my control, right? I think sport makes you realize that you are in control of your destiny.
Yeah.
That you can get better at things, but you can also get worse at things. That, you know, as a player, you kind of look up to maybe your coach. Now you have a mentor of some sort who's helping you get better. Now you're working with a team. You see how other people work. You see how other people can bring you down or bring you up. So I think a lot of people, they need to play sports, number one, as a kid or as a teenager, right? And I think that entrepreneurship after sport really comes from the athlete wanting control over their own success. I think in school it's much different, right? I think in school you're just trying to pass a class, get to the next one.
You're trying to get through. That's it.
And education in itself is almost a mini corporate ladder on its own. Like you said, there's elementary, high school. Now go get that degree. Now go get that master's. Now go do the super master and double master it. That was its own ladder.
Yeah.
Right? But the difference is that you're closed in on actually understanding what the world is really like. Right? So and now you see a lot of people, they finish with a double master and they still can't find a job.
Yep.
I'm telling you, that's a real thing.
100%.
And I think people are now realizing like, hey, like I could have just done what I wanted this whole time. Now, everyone has different situations. Everyone has, well, I got to go to school because my mom's making me, or, you know, I'm going to be the first one who graduated college out of my whole family. And this is a big
Which
deal.
is big.
100%.
Which is huge.
100%. And I don't really knock college or university because I went.
So you did, right. So you did undergrad. And then you did a master's as well?
So I went to the States on scholarship. Okay. I went there for a year in North Carolina. I got a full ride to play soccer there. I was taking international business or what. I didn't even care about what I was taking. I just wanted to play soccer.
Yeah.
Then I left. I took a year off and I was working in Toronto. And then I went to Ryerson for engineering. Again, I did 1 year there. Hated it. And I said, I'm not going to be an engineer if this is what this is what it's about. I just will not.
Yeah.
And I want to make something clear too. Like, a lot of people keep waiting in life to make a hard decision. I was never that person. I went to the States, and after a year, I said, I don't want to do this anymore. But think about the phone call I had to have with my mom and say, hey, Mom, remember like how I got a full ride? And you're not paying for my school, and I'm playing in Division I NCAA, I want to leave. That's a hard choice. Yeah. I'm letting down my family. Then I came back, worked for a year, said, okay, now I'll be an engineer, Mom and Dad. Let's go do it. After a year, I said, I don't want to do this anymore. So think about the tough decisions I'm making in my early 20s.
Yeah.
What that's priming me for. What that really was priming me for is that, Ernesto, when you want to do something, you do it. Don't worry about what other people will think. Then I went to York and I finished there. And then when I finished, I looked at my parents and said, well, I'm going to keep promoting. So again, I don't think someone in my position would have done any of those because they just didn't want to let people down. But if I stayed in the US for 4 years just for the fact of not letting people down, what kind of life am I building for myself? So I think making hard decisions, people need to stop shying away from them.
Yeah.
If there's something hard that you need to do
it.
Make that call and do it.
Earlier the better as well.
And you're putting in reps.
Yeah.
Now for me to make a hard decision, it's easy. Very easy. And, you know, I really don't care what people think about me.
I've seen this. I've heard you say that multiple times. You don't
true.
care what people think.
No.
You're very, very particular and careful about who you spend your energy on.
You have to be.
Because I know during researching, I just found you had a girlfriend, things didn't work out.
Yep.
You were changing yourself to impress her,
Yeah.
etc. That kind of happened. And then that made you learn, hey, I'm my own person. I am who I am.
Yeah.
That's how it is. But you also said it is very hard to trust people these days.
Yeah.
Why do you think trust is so fragile now?
Well, I think as you go through life, you learn a lot about trust. Maybe you trusted someone and it went sour. Maybe you trusted someone and it went really well. And again, going back to self-awareness, I'm very self-aware. So when I'm engaging in a new relationship or I'm dealing with a new business partner or a client, I'm very aware as to the kind of trust I'm giving them and what they're giving in return. I think for a long time in my life, I would just trust people automatically. I just thought that was the nice thing to do.
Nice guy syndrome.
Nice guy syndrome. I had it. I had it for a while.
I can attest
There
as
you
well.
go. And then it comes to a point where going back to it, like, how do you spend your time? What are you filling your brain with? I rather watch someone that I'm studying for 3 hours than go spend time with people that maybe are not going to provide value to me in my life. And I'm not saying business-wise, money-wise. I'm just saying in general.
Yeah.
Like here, I'm sitting down with you and we're getting value off each other, right? And I value this relationship. But a lot of people go through life putting themselves in situations that they're not valued in. And trust is tied into that. But if someone breaks their trust with me, I just look at it like, oh, you just don't value me. Okay, so that's done. That's cut off.
Oh, that's done.
Finished.
Yeah.
I realized at an early age, going back to it, that if I feel a way about something, I have to make a decision and just do it. Gut, every time. And after a few times of my gut being right, I've never questioned it again. I've never questioned it again. So when it comes to trust, the scary part about trust is you have to start.
Yeah.
You have to start by trusting people. And you have to see how it goes. You know, I got this energy from this guy and I trusted him and it didn't go well. Now, if I ever get that energy from someone again, it's kind of a hint. Awareness on a high level though. You know what? I felt good about that guy and I trusted someone like him before and it went well. Let's trust him. It's all awareness, taking mental note, but learning. You have to keep learning. If you don't learn and someone breaks your trust once, the next person's going to break your trust again. Over and over again. But again, I like to do self-audits on myself a lot to the point where it's like, hey, what went wrong with me and Michael? Let me write it down. Like, what went wrong? I was talking to him and he was all happy at the beginning and we did this and this happened, but then he broke my trust. Why did that happen? Okay, Ernesto, let's make sure that in the future that doesn't happen again. Right? So I think it's a lot of self-awareness, but taking mental note. And when it comes to trust, you have to start by actually trusting people and see what happens. Right? I could have easily, been watching better mentors at that age. And maybe they're telling me, hey, this is what you should look out for when you're trusting someone. I don't know. But a lot of the times when it comes to trust and putting yourself in a situation where you're most valued, it comes with reps and it comes with you being strong on a decision you want to make. Hey, bro, what you did that time, you showed no trust in me. We're not working together anymore. It's done.
Yeah.
It's not me dragging it on for another year saying, oh, hopefully he trusts us next time or the next time we talk, it goes better. I just don't waste my time.
Fascinating, because I spoke to Anth last week and he said Gary Vee on the podcast, and I watched it as well. He said, hire slowly, fire quickly.
Yep.
Right?
Yeah.
And that's all down to trust as well.
Of course.
Yeah, and that was fascinating. So I'll just mention it.
Yep.
What I want to get into is, so your podcast is Money Buys Happiness.
Yep.
I want to twist it a bit.
Okay.
Does success buy happiness? Now, what I mean by that is you've sacrificed family and relationships for success, right? And it's a tough pill to swallow, and you have to some extent. But there's a very interesting paradox that I was thinking about, which is we sacrifice the thing that we want, which is happiness, for success. But then that's the exact same thing which is supposed to get it.
Yeah. It's crazy. It's a game.
Yeah.
We play this game called life, right? And when it comes to sacrifice, you know, there's a cost to anything you want to do in life. If I want to be successful, I know the costs that are going to come with it. Less time with family, less time for relationships, maybe stress. I know the costs. Maybe some months where I don't get paid as much as I wanted to. Okay, cool. What are the costs if I don't go after success? Okay, let's think about it. Well, I won't have that financial freedom I want. I won't be able to serve and protect my family in a big way. I might have regrets in life. I might not be doing what I love. Those are the costs to not chasing my success. So you got to look at the pros and cons. And you say, okay, is this worth these costs? And again, self-audit, self-awareness, talk to yourself, whatever you want to call it. You have to break it down and say, okay, if I'm about to chase this, I know what comes with it.
Yeah.
I'm not going to sit here and be surprised and shocked that I spend less time with my family or be a victim of it or say, well, oh, you know, I never get time with my family because I'm chasing success. I know what I signed up for. So in everything you do in life, there's a cost.
Yeah.
Whether you want to do something great or you want to do something mediocre, there will always be a cost. If I want to go home after this and just chill out on the couch,
You can.
order some pizza, what's the cost of that though? The cost is, okay, well, now I'm not going to go to the gym. So now my health is at cost. Everything in life has a cost. You were at a concert last night. You left a bit earlier because you have a pod today. That was the cost of you having a podcast. You sacrificing an hour at a concert to be more prepared for your podcast. Are you mad? No. You know what you signed up for. Right? So I think people, when they make a decision in life, weigh out the cost and write those costs down because they're not going away. And please don't be surprised that you have these costs.
Yeah.
If I went the other direction, said, okay, well, let me just work a 9 to 5, get myself a good girlfriend, and start building a family. Okay. What are the costs with that? Well, I'll probably have to spend more time with her than building a business. I probably won't be able to travel as much if I have a family. And again, it's just math.
Yeah.
Weigh out the pros and cons.
Opportunity cost. Everything has an opportunity
Everything
cost.
has an opportunity cost.
Yeah.
Everything, good and bad. So whatever you're doing today, whoever's listening to this, think about the costs associated with the actions that you're going to do today. Really. And I treat every day like that.
Yeah.
I really do. So I've had to sacrifice a lot. And I think to answer your question, does success buy happiness? I think it does if you really achieve the goals you want to reach, you know, and I've been able to do that. So I wouldn't say necessarily the money that I've made brought me happiness.
Yeah.
It's me being able to say, you know what, let me come here on a Saturday, have a sick pod, you know, maybe I'll do some more work hereafter. Maybe Monday I'll work from home.
Yeah.
Maybe Tuesday I'll go to Miami. Right? So maybe Wednesday I get to sit down with my team and inspire them to do better. That for me, that's happiness. And my success has brought me that sort of happiness.
Yeah. Dalai Lama, do you know? Yeah, he has a very interesting quote, very lovely quote. We sacrifice our health in order to make money. Then we sacrifice our money to recuperate our health.
Yeah. And I think, like I said, I think we're all in this rat race game.
Yeah.
Where, you know, even I fall into that sometimes where I'm just like, okay, well, why am I doing all this? I'm doing this so I can have a family that I can support, live a healthy life, have financial freedom at a whole other level. But I'm actually sacrificing all those things right now to get there, right? But I think everyone does that. I think even when you see a person that took the other direction and said, you know what? I have kids, I'm married. I'm going to wait till my kids turn 10 and then I'm going to open the business I want. So they're just sacrificing things just in a different way.
Yeah.
For me, it's also a pressure that I want. Speed is a thing that I care about.
Yeah.
How fast can I reach the goals I want to reach? While still keeping in mind I'm a long-term guy. When I say speed, I don't mean I need to be where I want to be by next year. I'm saying I just need to keep growing and achieving my goals. And I like that pressure of saying, Ernesto, you're sacrificing these things right now. Make sure it's worth it. That's different things. That's different. Hey, let me sacrifice maybe having a relationship right now. And if you're going to sacrifice that, make sure you're putting in work on the other side.
Yeah.
Don't be hanging out and chilling out and taking things light.
It's got to be a balance.
Come on. If I'm spending a night, let's say a Monday night at the office to put in some extra work, and I'm sacrificing me sitting at a dinner table with my family, you best believe I'm going to work my ass off because I know at the back of my mind, shit, this time would usually be for family, but I'm using it now to work. So I better work smart.
To add to that point, one of the best pieces of advice I've ever heard is always contemplate the price you pay for inaction.
So
and it really hit me
Yeah.
because let's say on a Saturday, like right now my weekends are, and I'm sure for you as well, growing a business, you're working, right? But it feels like enjoyment, but you're still working at the end of the day. Perfect. But if you could easily be chilling out.
Easily.
Right? Going to festivals, doing things, we could be sitting like having brunch at a patio somewhere. Right? Talking shit and just having time of our lives. Great. But then if you want to get to where you in your head want to get to, you also have competitors around you. Now, I'm not saying, okay, yes, that's a whole different conversation.
For sure.
You're your biggest competitor,
Of course.
But there is a lot of people who are trying to achieve what you want to as well. Now, the math is simple. If you are not putting in the work, there's so many others who are probably outworking you right now that will get to where you want to get. You want to get to quicker, which is speed. But then there's this also fine balance that needs to come in, which is yes, but you want to enjoy that journey as well, rather than just succumbing to that work ethic and just having a crappy life. So it's such a fine balance to make sure that you're enjoying. Let's say when you go to Miami for like all the things that you're trying to do with the business, enjoy Miami, man.
For sure.
You're there, you may as well.
Yep.
You never know, that'll be the last trip. I don't know. Hopefully not. But
for sure.
But it's such an interesting thing. But to go back, always have that at the back of your mind though.
I always do.
What's the price you pay for inaction?
For sure. And I think that I've fallen into that at times where I'm just, I'm working so hard that I'm not enjoying things. Right? It's happened to me because I'm very hard on myself. So again, let's say someone comes in here and it's, I've been in here since 5:30 a.m. and they come in at 8:30 and they're like, well, Ernesto, like, bro, chill. Like, why are you working so hard? But in the back of my head, I'm thinking about everything you just said, the competitors, but also all the things I'm sacrificing. If I'm sacrificing all the time with my family and potential relationships and my health and this and that, you best believe I'm going to be working like crazy.
It better be worth it, man.
This is what I'm saying, right?
Yeah.
So I try to make every day really worth it because at the end of the day, I know what I'm sacrificing. It stays with me. And if it stays with you and you understand the costs and the sacrifice, you will work hard. You don't need motivation.
Yeah.
That is your motivation.
100%.
And I think a lot of people ask me that too. Like, hey, like, what are you so motivated by day to day? The sacrifices that I'm making.
I love that.
The things that I'm saying no to today are pushing me to grow and build something. It's not the things I'm saying yes to. It's the fact that I know, hey, okay, I'm going to work Thursday night. That means no dinner with mom. fuck, that Thursday night I'm going to put in work. Right?
I love that.
So keeping the sacrifice in mind.
Yeah. To add to that, from what some of you viewers might be thinking is, oh shit, you got to just be on and be in a crappy mood. No. Because your mood is something you can control yourself. And Alex Hormozy has a brilliant tweet, which is, the single greatest skill you can develop is the ability to stay in a good mood in the absence of things to be in a good mood about.
Well, going back, it's your feelings.
It's how you feel.
No one cares. You can't use it. You have to be in the mood to win at all times.
Yeah.
And it's very simple. Here's the way I look at it, right? And I was going through this. I was literally going through this maybe 8 months ago, where, dude, I would work 6 a.m. till midnight. All day, I would just want to work. And then I'm like, well, I don't feel healthy. I'm getting like mad at times.
Yeah.
I'm getting frustrated. But then you know what I realized? I said, well, Ernesto, what you're doing is not new. Do you think that there's someone out there that's not putting in the same work as you, that's in a better mood? Do you think you're the first guy to work 6 to midnight?
Exactly.
No. There's people out there that are doing. Do I think I work more than Gary Vee? No. He's in a fucking good mood all the time. Alex Hormozy, he works way more than me. He's in a sharp enough mood.
He's insane.
But I'm just saying, these are things, again, you have to look at people around you and say, well, they're doing it. This is not a question of whether I can do it or not. It's been done. So now it's about putting myself in a position to feel better. So now, let's say I felt like that 8 months ago. Then what did I say? Okay, well, why don't I just try working out first thing in the morning from now on? See if that changes anything. Changed a lot. Felt better. Got some stress out early morning. Felt like I accomplished something right away. I'm one of those guys that I'm a checklist guy. And the more things I check off in a day, the happier I am. The more productive I feel, the happier I am. So I said, let me just channel that energy into doing things that make me feel good as well, so that by the time I'm sitting here with you, I'm a happy person. Right? And again, I'm not reinventing the wheel. For me to think that with a 30-person company, that I'm as busy as these guys that are killing it, that are in better moods than me, I would be an idiot to think that I'm some sort of the chosen one that can't handle it, right? And I think people fall into that where they think it's what they're feeling is so unique. Oh man, I'm never gonna get through this. How?
Yeah.
I gotta keep working. I gotta look around. People are doing it already. And they're doing it because they're calculated. Like I said, look at your habits, add something in there. Do something that makes you feel better. Right? And I think a lot of us fall into that trap of feeling like we're the only ones on this path.
Yeah.
Where it's like, dude, even me and your path, it's not that different. You know, like we're all not that different. We're all human.
Yeah.
And if someone you look up to is able to withstand the pressure, then you can too. And that's always how I looked at it. If I said I wanted to be, you know, I have 30 employees now, but I want to have 3,000 employees. Well, how am I going to get there if I feel this way now? And it goes back to even manifesting. I look at myself as someone that's going to have thousands of employees, that's going to have impact on millions.
You're already living that in your head.
So I got to act that way though. Right? If I want to have 10 times the revenue I do now, well, how am I going to let my day-to-day now really bother me? That's impossible. You can really use comparison to help you with that stuff. If I get mad that one person comments on our podcast and hates it, okay? And then I go to Drake's last Instagram post and I see 1,000 haters. Well, how am I going to feel when I get there then? Right? So it's really about putting yourself in a position to say, well, if I want to be this person, this shit doesn't matter as much as I think.
Yeah. I love that.
You have to.
Yeah.
Or else you'll never get there. And again, there's very great examples all around us, no matter what industry you want to be in, to look up to and say, well, look how he's handling the pressure. Do I really think Drake is a much stronger person than me? No. So what's the difference? Exactly.
White noise.
Mindset. mindset at all. It goes back to mindset every time.
It does. It does. It's so funny you say this because I experienced it within my first week of launching the pod. So right now, the pod's 23 weeks old.
Amazing.
23 weeks, 23 episodes. Brilliant.
Beautiful.
But episode 1 or 2, I think it was, I got a comment. And it was a hate comment. I was being blamed for gentrification. I was like, okay. Turns out, well, I couldn't figure out who it was because it was like an anonymous name.
Always is.
I then figured out who it was.
Oh, did you?
Yeah.
Wow.
And I didn't sort of, I didn't know anything about it, but I was like,
and you should.
Initially the feeling was like, oh my God, like what, this, that. And then I was thinking, if I'm to have more than 1 million subscribers, how much of this am I going to get? Same mindset as you, what you just described. Then I was like, also, I'm in the space of self-development, intellectual curiosity. I'm secure, man.
Yeah.
I've worked on myself.
Yeah.
I know who I am. I know who I stand for.
Yep.
Stuff like that is more coming from their insecurity,
There you go.
their jealousy probably. So feel for the guy,
There you go.
but just wish him well, then move on.
Right?
But it's that self-awareness thing of hadn't I gone through that experience, I wouldn't have known. But it's to your point, if you want to see yourself in a certain position, you got to think that way now.
You have to. And I'm happy you did that.
Yeah.
You know, like, again, I would go look at even PBD's podcast.
Yeah.
You go look, 20,000 comments, but 2,000 are mad.
Yeah.
Right? And it's
Yeah.
like, okay, if I was to get one and ruin my whole day for one, what would my life look like if I got 2,000? I would implode.
Yeah.
So it's also an understanding in yourself that, okay, if I just spent the whole week mad about this one comment, I'm not ready for the life that I'm deciding to go after. I'm not that guy. I thought I was the guy. But one little comment and my week is thrown off and I'm rethinking if I'm going to have a podcast or not. And that's throughout life. We're talking about podcasting right now, but that's throughout life. Right? And if I went back and told you about all the comments we got early on in our podcast, you would say, holy shit, how'd you guys even keep going?
Yeah.
Right? But we knew that's part of the game. Again, cost. What cost comes with me being online all the time? Guess what cost comes with it? Me being judged. That's it. I accept it. If I want millions of people to know me, but then on the other side think millions of people won't judge me, I'm living in a fairy tale fantasy.
Yeah.
That's the truth.
Yeah.
So this could be for anyone they want to start food blogging. You want to start creating art. Guys, you will be judged. This is not a nice world out here. The world is not a nice place. I will say that. Like I said, it'll chew you up and spit you out. So again, if you're putting yourself in a position where the route you want to take involves you being online more, or you showing your face more, or you giving your takes more, you will be judged. And sometimes it's not positive, it's negative. But also, that's why over time now, I also don't get too excited about a positive comment. You can't have both sides. You can't get all happy. Oh my God, look, this person loves our podcast. They said they learned so much. Wow, I have the best podcast in the world. This is huge. You think I can do that, and then when a hate comment comes, just say, oh, it doesn't matter? No. Then I'm saying, oh my God, this person hates me.
Yeah.
Why do they hate us? Change the flow of our podcast. Get another guest. Change our thumbnails. Change the way the title looks. So you can't have both sides. What happens is that you eventually become a little numb to it.
Yeah.
Now, do I appreciate the good messages? 100%. But I appreciate it and I move on. Now, when I get a hate comment, okay, you don't like us? No problem. I move on.
Yeah.
Right? And for me, if I can, and I've used this ratio before, but let's say for every 10 new people that find out who Ernesto is, if 8 out of 10 like me and 2 out of 10 don't, I am taking that ratio for the rest of my life. That is a ratio I will sign on the dotted line a full lifetime contract.
Yeah.
I will take that. That's a good ratio.
Mm-hmm.
Even if it's 6 and 4, even if it's 5 and 5, keep going.
Mm-hmm.
You know? And eventually what happens is that you just start realizing how many people you impact, your subscribers, for example, and the people that are going to watch this and the value that they're going to take. That person getting a positive impact from this is much more important than one person getting a negative experience from it.
Mm-hmm.
You have to focus on the positive. And all it takes for me to focus on the positive is realizing, you know what? People get a lot from this. People enjoy this.
Yeah.
So the 2-3 people that don't, that's just something I'm going to have to accept.
Let it be.
You just
Doesn't
accept
matter.
it, bro.
Yeah.
You just kind of have to accept it. And it's
Yeah.
hard to accept that people aren't going to like what you do.
Mm-hmm.
It's hard to fathom that, I put in so much work for this podcast and I thought I had a great conversation and this guy comes along with a negative comment. It's hard to accept that.
Yeah.
But the strong ones accept it.
Mm-hmm.
And that's why they are where they are.
Gotcha.
Right?
That makes sense. I have 2 last questions.
Of course.
And this one threw Anthony in a spin.
Oh, did it?
No, not on the episode. This was we were just having a chat.
Okay,
and it's this idea of like, what do you want to want? So,
You know what?
uh-huh.
I'm not sure there's anything right now because I've done such a good job on myself making sure I'm living the life I want.
Mm-hmm.
And you can even ask Ant this. If there's something that I want,
Mm-hmm.
I get it. I do everything I need to get it.
Mm-hmm.
I think sometimes I would want to be in a relationship, but then I really don't
Mm-hmm.
because I know what comes with it.
Yeah.
I think that if there was one thing where it's like, I wish I cared more about this aspect of my life, it would be like being in a relationship with someone. But again, I think going back to it, I think I've understood all the sacrifices and costs that come with the life I want.
Mm-hmm.
Right? So it's all by design.
Yeah.
The way my life is today, that's because I designed it 6-7 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
And I really don't think there's anything I would want to want.
Mm-hmm. The
Maybe-
idea,
yeah.
The idea of it came from.
It's a great question, though.
Yeah,
It is.
In today's society, we're not designed to think about our thoughts.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
You download them.
Yeah.
Right? So if you want to be successful, great. But what does that version of success look like to you?
Yes.
That's the idea of
Okay.
want to want. And that's threw me in a spin.
It is a great question.
Yeah.
I think honestly, man, in my life right now, and you're asking me at a great time,
Okay.
I don't want to want anything that I don't have.
Mm-hmm.
I am so proactive that if I want something in my life, it's gonna happen. Now, maybe there's characteristics about myself that I would want to want sometimes. Maybe there's times where I wish I would be a bit more understanding with people, be a bit more kind with people at times. There's times
Mm-hmm.
where I'm like, fuck, I would want to be a nicer guy. But deep down, like we said, nice guy syndrome, it doesn't always work.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes I want to spend more time with other people. But I guess, like I said, going back to it, it's just a cost I've accepted.
Mm.
And I'm so okay with where I'm at with the decisions I made in my life. That's why I feel this way. Right? I think if I had lots of answers for you, I would be a hypocrite to everything I just told you.
Yeah.
Right?
Yep.
But I think for someone listening, that is a great question for them to answer
Mm-hmm.
because it is that self-awareness test. What do you want to want? What's not clicking for you, but you know deep down you should probably want this?
Mm.
Why aren't you acting on something that you should probably want? So it's a great exercise for them to do, and it's a great question.
Yeah.
I think that, again, if you asked me a year ago, 2 years ago, the answer would have been different.
Yeah. And I'm sure like a year from now it would be different as well.
It might be, yes.
Mm-hmm.
But I do so much work on myself that anytime there's something out there that I feel like I want to have, or I want to have part of my journey, I work my ass off to make it part of my journey. I work my ass off to make it part of my career. I think also I want to learn more. I know I said I'm always trying to learn, but I want to do it even more. Maybe that's something I think about when I go back home.
Yeah.
How can I instill more learning throughout my days? Right? But a great question, I think, again, going back to your audience here, get a piece of paper, get a journal, and write down what's missing in your life right now. What do you feel is missing in your life right now? And if you don't want that missing in your life in the next 2, 3, 4 years, you have to do something about it right now. That could be your health, that could be your fitness, that could be your job, that could be your relationships. But really, I want you guys to take this as a test today. We're talking a lot about self-awareness.
Yeah.
And I think that writing down what's missing in your life, where you're at today, be detailed. What kind of life do you live today? Is that the life that you want to continue living? It's a very hard question. But you have to remember, if you don't make a change, then nothing is going to change. Nothing will change. Think about who you want to be, the life you want to live, the things you want to have, the kind of characteristics you want to have. The person you are today at 25 or 35, that's not it. You're not done. You can keep building. You can keep growing. Think about where you want to be in the year 2030 and start now. Start building towards that. Like I said in the beginning of this podcast, stop being loyal to your past.
Yeah.
Be loyal to your future.
I love that.
You have to be.
Yeah.
Be loyal to, I'm being loyal right now to the 2028 version of Ernesto. The things I'm doing today is so that 2028 Ernesto can look back and say, thank God you did that shit. Because there's been many times where I've looked back and said, well, why didn't I do those things? If I did those things, today would be different. Take it day by day, build your character. We're in a video game. This is a video game.
Yeah.
Build that character. Add the skills you want. Become better. Build that XP every day. Right? And you will keep growing. Once you see it work, once you see the self-awareness test work, you're never going to look past it again.
Yeah.
You're going to take it with you for the rest of your life.
Yeah. Wow. My last question for you is, what is one thing you wish you knew at 18?
One thing I wish I knew at 18 would be that I'm very much in charge of my own destiny. And I don't know if I knew that at 18. I would think that life is just life, and wherever I land, I land. You are really in control of your own life. And I wish I thought more about myself. I was always trying to make other people happy. And I think that was a detriment to me at that time. I learned a lot, though. I don't regret it. But I think if I was 18, I would say, hey, Ernesto, like, making everyone happy is not your job. If you can make people happy as a result of your life and your decisions, that's a bonus. But you have to put yourself first. Your happiness matters a lot. And I would put my happiness last. And I think 18-year-old Ernesto, he would do things differently if he knew that. So if you're 18 and you're watching this, put your own happiness first a few times. Like don't be scared to do that. And don't be scared to make hard decisions. If you don't want to do something, just say it. If you don't want to do something, if you don't want to make a certain decision or go to a certain school or have a certain job or have a certain friend, end it. Stop beating around the bush, right? I think making quick decisions is something I learned later on. So yeah, I would say that.
Yeah, I appreciate that, man. And mate, thank you so much for taking the time to do this. It's been an absolute blast.
Anytime, bro. You're a great host. I'm proud of all the moves you're making with the pod.
I appreciate that.
Keep going, bro.
Thank you, man.
Keep going. Keep all that in mind and keep looking up to people that are inspiring to you and that can help you continue the journey and stay motivated.
No, I appreciate it. And mate, you guys are making big moves, you and Ann.
Trying, yeah.
Man, best of luck with that. Obviously, I'm going to be part of the ride.
Of course.
But in Miami, there's so much going on,
I gotta bring you to Miami, bro.
I've never been, actually.
You're gonna love it, man. You're gonna love paradise.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
But no, appreciate it, man. And
Anytime.
yeah, we'll do this again.
Of course.
Well done, you, for getting through to the end of this episode. This is exactly what I want. And I hope you've taken a lot of learnings and decoded some wisdom that you can implement in your life. This is what it's all about for me. So if you're watching it on Spotify, give us a follow, drop us a 5-star rating. And if you're on YouTube, give us a good like, subscribe to the channel, and also feel free to comment. I love to engage with the audience. And with that, I'll see you next week.